lie and no, today is going to be a
I should get a decent tan. So. We're not there, but Wednesday through Saturday 9 to 5, and actually Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to maybe 4:45 or 4:50.
Whenever the Bloody Mary's kicking.
Yeah, we're racing down in Knoxville now, so we need to get out of there.
That direction.
Get out of there early on Saturday.
There you go.
So, but come out and see us.
Tell everybody your location.
9401 Northwest 70th. Again, we're just west of Camp Dodge.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Next week it is
4:45 or 4:50.
Whenever the Bloody Mary's kicking.
Yeah, we're racing down in Knoxville now, so we need to get out of there.
That direction.
Get out of there early on Saturday.
There you go.
So, but come out and see us.
Tell everybody your location.
On Saturday.
There you go.
So, but come out and see us. Yeah, we're racing down in Knoxville now, so we need to get out of there.
That direction.
Get out of there early on Saturday.
There you go.
So, but come out and see us.
Tell everybody your location.
9401 Northwest 70th. Again, we're just west of Camp Dodge.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Next week it is 6:50. Good morning, it's 9:30. Welcome back to Great Day for this Wednesdays. And what happens around here every Wednesday morning is we visit with our good friend Chuck Renes from Renes Greenhouse, because every day is a great day to grow it. Lie and no, today is going to be a great day to grow it. Chuck Renes from Renes Greenhouse is here. And Chuck, over the past couple of days, we've had some severely hot days when it comes to heat and humidity.
It has been tough, and it's, you know, I was just saying that some of the baskets we have out there, I mean, I'm amazed at how good they look, because we have to water them 2 or 3 times a day, but boy, this heat's tough on that stuff, but they look great.
Now, with that said, you said people are they're a little more attuned to having to water more than once a day, and watering when you get home from work at night. That won't work, because your plants will be dead by the time you get home from work.
No, it's, you know, I water first thing. I usually get out there about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I water the baskets good then, and then I water them again when I go home at 5 o'clock. And they need that. They wouldn't go a whole day without, you know, like I've always said, once that plant gets some size to it, you know, there's a lot of area there that needs watered.
Right.
So
it's got to be pumping that water through it all day.
Yeah.
Now, what about days like today? We had a couple of 90-degree days, so people have top of mind. Got to make sure you water the plants. But today is going to be what, 85-ish?
Yeah, and it should rain by late afternoon for sure. So,
but
for most of us,
so you still need to make sure they get a drink this morning.
Absolutely, absolutely, at least once a day. Even, you know, and I've said this before, a couple times we got those 2-inch rains, I still watered my baskets, because a lot of that water runs off, and
because of the leaves and the stems covering the soil,
yeah,
it just
the
runs
soil,
off.
The can, once that plant canopies there, it's the same with all the garden mums now. We're going to have to get 2 or 3 inches of rain before we don't have to water them things. So,
speaking of gardening, things are starting to get going. I've got tomatoes that are starting to turn red, and zucchini that are starting to grow. Anything we need to know this time of year?
Nope, just keep taking care of stuff. You know, in these real hot, dry conditions, you might need to water the tomatoes and all that stuff. But again, that's always better to do, to water the soil and not the plant. So try not to get your tomatoes.
Why is that the case?
Well, that's what causes, and it's not quite so prevalent now, but when those tomatoes start to ripen, that's why you get those big cracks in the tops of the tomatoes, because if you have a lot of tomatoes that are starting to get ripe and we get a real heavy rain, you'll notice a lot of cracks in the top of those tomatoes, and that's just from the water on the top of the plant.
When it's sucking into the tomato itself?
Whereas if it comes up from the ground, you still might might get some cracks, but you're going to be less likely to get the cracks. So.
Gotcha.
Now, I've actually been listening to you and been doing really well. I took my plants out of direct sunlight just because it's been so hot, and I've been watering them really well. But my one beautiful, it's a bush tree bush. Hibiscus that I got from your place. It's still gorgeous, but my leaves are starting to turn yellow, which I've always been told means I'm overwatering.
Right, and you know, that can be the case, but probably not. Those things are just, you know, today it's 100, but a few days ago it was 60, and a lot of times it's just the change in the weather so fast that will cause that to happen. They'll fall off and go away, and you'll never know it before long.
Okay, so nothing to worry about. Keep watering it.
And you know, you definitely can overwater stuff, but right now it's going to be hard to overwater stuff. Okay. It's just this time of season, it's going to be tough to overwater stuff.
If you're like me, you look over the garden beds in the garden, and you're already thinking about next year and thinking about, you know.
You are?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What to do? And
this is too big.
I'm just enjoying the fact that I don't have dead plants.
This died, but it's really too early to be doing any dividing or moving or anything.
Right.
Like that,
you know, this in the heat of the summer now, I don't even think it's a good time to plant trees and things like that. It's just it's just too tough on that stuff to do that. So you know, here in another, you know, and not that it's fall or anything, but we're 30 days from the fair, and you know, when the fair is over, man, that's that. And I mean, it's hard to believe, but you know, the mums are getting close to ready for fall, and you know, poinsettias are growing, and I mean, you know, how's that happen so soon? I come by the fairgrounds this morning too, and I wanted to mention that you know, we furnish the flowers for over there at the fair, and Bob and Cindy have did a great job, and that stuff is looking dynamite over there by the main gate and down around the sign and stuff. And sometimes he picks some stuff that I don't really agree with, and this was definitely one of those years. Some of that stuff you planted I didn't think would ever make a great show, but it's just getting beautiful over there.
Now, speaking of beautiful, you want to keep your plants looking beautiful. Obviously, watering is important. Now, what about fertilizer in the heat like this?
Well, you know, the only time you can get in trouble with fertilizer, now again, I fertilize every time I water. The one thing that can hurt plants with fertilizer is if you let them get really, really dry, if they get bone dry, you're better off to go in with just water rather than fertilizer in that water, because if that plant's really dry and everything, sometimes that fertilizer will burn the roots. So you know, if you do forget to water one day and you go out there and it's just drier than heck, water with just clear water, and you're going to be better off than if you try to fertilize it and stuff right away.
All right, so we have plants looking good here. Eric, go to the surface here real quick. We'll show you plants that look good following your advice and a little bit of Jack's fertilizer in those, and everything is looking good. Yeah. And even these what do they call these?
Elephant ears.
Elephant ears are starting to come up finally. It's the middle of July and they're finally coming out. Now, that's not normal, is it?
No, I mean, you know, those got a long way to go to be the kind of, especially for the bulbs you got were big, huge bulbs.
Because Chuck was there when I got them. Yeah,
and they was big, huge bulbs, and they've really got to go.
Come around.
I mean, you know, we're not that far from the end of the deal, so.
Okay, now here are those plants that you started so many months ago, months and months ago.
You know, it's funny. I always go back and look at the shows that we did a year ago, and the show 1 year ago today is when I planted those pepper seeds, because I was talking about planting those pepper seeds. So those seeds have been in the ground exactly a year. Now, the ones I have, and we're pretty close to you eating those. I don't know.
They're called Carolina Reapers.
Carolina Reapers, and I don't know what that finished pepper looks like. So I don't know what's supposed to. When it's going to be ripe, and I will need to get.
I think when it bursts into flames is when you know it's about right.
They're starting to turn red, so I'm guessing that's, and I'm telling you, they're wrinkled and just nasty looking little critters. So I don't know what they're
We're getting advice. People on Facebook are sending advice of what we need to have. They said we need to have a glass of milk. Yeah. We need to have milk of magnesia. You know, just for tasting these
stuff for when it goes in and for when it goes out to make it a less painful experience.
I'm concerned about you just eating one of those things, seriously.
I wasn't worried about it until I started thinking about it in the past. Remember Big Daddy when he had his challenge?
Yep.
Yes.
And a couple people went to the hospital after trying to eat Big Daddy's thing. I wonder if this is what he was using.
Let's have EMT on
Because he wouldn't tell us what it was. That was his big secret. The pepper he used was a big secret. I'm wondering if this might have been the pepper.
Well, you know, like I say, these things are supposed to be hot, and they're just wicked looking. I mean, they just look like they're going to be terrible. So I don't know.
To put it in, this is not an exaggeration. If you have jalapenos at the level here, and you have habanero peppers, which are here on the heat scale. I can't remember.
Like ghost peppers?
No, but
ghost peppers are about here.
There's a name for how they measure the heat.
Oh, okay.
And then the peppers that you planted a year ago today are about up here.
Yeah. These are just
the hottest in the world.
Nasty. I mean, these are just nasty. So
we do what we can.
Scale.
Yeah.
Scoville.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
We do what we can to inflict pain upon ourselves.
Yes. Well, it's like I say, it's going to be interesting. And one of the things that did come with the packing ticket on them, and there was a form on there, and they do suggest that you get a waiver signed by the people that buy those peppers saying that those should not be for human consumption because they're so hot. So maybe I better get you to sign. Maybe I better get you to sign that because you're kind of the anchor of this show, and if something goes bad,
Kim Bear is going to. Kim Bear's already typing something up right now.
Yeah.
You'll be taking over, my friend.
But so I'm going to say we can just plan on about 2 weeks because they're getting there. They're getting there.
All right, but right now just keep watering your plants.
Just keep watering, taking care of everything, keep everything deadheaded, keep the weeds out of the garden, and one thing real quick, Jason asked about planning for next year. Well, one thing you can do to plan for next year is the better you keep those weeds out of your garden. If you let those weeds go to seed, all those seeds are going to be there for next year. Okay. So the better you keep those weeds out of your garden this year, you'll avoid having all those seeds in your garden.
So don't get lazy.
Just get your swimsuit on, get out there, and get it nice. It's one thing about the greenhouse, you can get a decent tan. So.
All right, now what are your hours now? So people are aware.
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday we're not there, but Wednesday through Saturday 9 to 5, and actually Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to maybe 4:45 or 4:50.
Whenever the Bloody Mary's kicking.
Yeah, we're racing down in Knoxville now, so we need to get out of there.
That direction.
Get out of there early on Saturday.
There you go.
But come out and see us.
Tell everybody your location.
9401 Northwest 70th. Again, we're just west of Camp Dodge.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, love that
Good man.
Yeah,
If he can get me to not kill plants, that man's a
miracle
wizard.
worker. Hey, coming up next, last night, Cinderella started at the Civic Center. One of the stars in the studio with us coming up